Any Kine live.
Hi guys.
And the Any Kine call is real. Getting kind of any kind.
What kind of work is this, you two?
The Beach Grit headline for the podcast is I hugged P. Mel from the back.
Any Kine live.
Look at the chain is out, gigantic. And he wants to land this in.
We're back. We're here. Any Kine Live is a new episode, and thank you for tuning in. Kaipo Guerrero, along with my good friend, I'm going to introduce him right now, the mayor of Santa Cruz, the Condor. He's a big bird, large wingspan, and you can find him every day at Freeline Surf Shop, Peter Mel.
Yeah, you took a break, Kaipo. We took a break, but I've been putting still every day. Right here. If you want to come visit, I'm here. Just ring the bell. One on the back door, one on the front door.
This is really, 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 really exciting stuff. We have our good friend finally meeting us on Any Kine Live, straight from Malibu, California. He owns a whole world, Strider's World. Strider Wasilewski, thank you so much for being with us.
I can't believe I'm here. I got in. I've been waiting for the call for like freaking whatever months on end. Then you guys went MIA. Now you're back, and you came back with the Waz. I can't. Yep. I just talked about myself in third person. That's what I do.
No,
Hi,
that's
boys.
what we needed to do.
We
Strider.
miss it.
Like, you know, when we came back from Any Kine Live, I needed to bring a big personality because this is a triumphant return to Any Kine. And
I didn't
that's
think
why
I
it's
was
Any
gonna
Kine.
get in. I didn't think I was even gonna make the cut, bro.
Dude, are you kidding me? It's salt and pepper.
I've been over here with my
It's
hand
salt
up
and
my
pepper.
Hey.
Can I get in?
No,
Where's
no,
the third person?
Pete, I have
Watching them.
I have a new
I've been checking out the numbers. I've been like.
I knew I wasn't going to get a word in edgewise.
Oh, you want to talk?
So Pete, I just want to tell you, I got a new show. It's Salt and Pepper with a side of honey. And that's you.
Oh,
Mel.
there we go. Yay. Salt and pepper and
Can
honey.
you tell people?
Yeah, but I'm
people
allergic
why
to
Mel's
honey, so it ain't gonna work. Bro.
But why is Mel a side of honey? Can you tell people that?
Get
Why is
right
Mel
in
a side-
Portuguese, Mel, right? In Portuguese, Mel is honey, right?
We want to hear what's going on in LA. What's going to be going on with Strider's World? I know you've been biking 30 miles a day, push-ups, e-foiling.
Looking thin.
Keep
Give him
going,
that.
bro.
He's looking good. I like it.
Surfing.
No, wait.
What's the
hanging with
secret?
my family a lot. I've been dadding a lot, which has been amazing, and taking my kids out surfing a lot, been skating with them a lot, and you know what? To tell you the truth, this has been a blessing. Being home, hanging with my family, and really just, you know, I'm in a teenage years with Coast, and he's 13, and I would never be able to hang out with him this much, which is something that is like, I don't know, it just fills me up, fills up the cup of love, man, and it's like we all need it. We get hugs, we get, you know, hanging out, doing things, going to skate, going to surf, you know, going over the hill to skate parks, or, you know, even just going for a cruise up the street in the 66 on Coast Highway, just talking about life and everything that's going on. So that kind of stuff has been amazing.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something from real experience, and Peter can attest to this too, is Strider Wasilewski is an eternal optimist. And he almost manifests like cool things happening because he's always so optimistic. At one time I talked to Strider about making shit happen as watching water run uphill. And there's no logic to it, but somehow Strider
But it happens.
makes fucking shit happen. Yeah, he does.
That's
Well,
the secret.
you know
Did you read the
what?
book?
The secret is honestly, nobody's gonna give you anything. You gotta get up off your ass and go get it. And if you're gonna be proactive and you're gonna think about doing things and you're gonna visualize and put yourself there, it will happen. And you know that. And we all do it in our lives, and we want things, and we gotta think about it. You gotta have dreams. Your dreams are your realities, and that's what it's all about, is making those things happen and putting them out there. And I think that, you know, every time you have a dream, hold on to it and go after it, because you had that dream for a reason, and it was because it's meant to be your reality. And there you go, right down that street.
There you go. Hey, Strider Wasilewski, straight out of Dogtown. And
Don't make me forget mine.
things are-
I got mine right outside. I've been skating it every day.
Wait. Where's my Dogtown?
yeah.
You don't have
Who do I
one?
got to call?
Whoa.
I don't have one.
Jim Muir. We'll hook it up. We'll get you going.
Jim.
Red Dog, okay? Like
The original
OG
Red Dog.
Dogtown.
He's in
The
the movie.
original Red Dog.
Dogtown.
And like that was actually that board that Jim just sent me was when I got a skateboard for the first time. That was my first graphic skateboard ever when I was a kid. Was the original Red Dog.
You know
from
what? I gotta say
from
thank
Dogtown.
you to Jim Muir and Skip Emblem and Jay Adams and Tony Alva and all the boys for raising me, because
Straight up.
it was
They
a
made you
straight
get
up
off your
wild
ass and go
ride.
get it, huh?
You know what? Those guys, no bullshit, no Mr. Nice Guys, just straight truth across the board, looking over at me and telling me what's up and kicking me out of the house when, you know, obviously extra stuff was going on. Everything's, the levels got heavy.
That's protecting you.
Time for you to leave. And you know what? They did. They had my best interest at hand always. And I loved it. Solo Scott,
Yeah.
McClure brothers, you know, all the boys, Mike Packham. I mean, it's an endless many, right? There's just, you know the boys, dude.
District
It was
4.
an
That was
interest-
District 4.
Interesting childhood, and District 4 and District 2 got along, and that was an interesting
Right.
thing. Santa Cruz and LA, we had fun.
And just so everyone
There you go.
understands,
So-
the WSA, which is the Western Surfing Association, had our districts. Kaipo was in Hawaii. He had his own island. But the districts here, WSA, with District 2 was up north, District 4 was LA.
Oh,
Right?
dude,
That's right.
I went to District 4. Dave Lansdowne was holding the contest. I showed up off of the
Yep.
plane and stuff. I won the shit. Like, you know what I mean? People were bummed. Like the little brown dude came
Bro,
over.
that's
They
another
thought
guy
was
I
part
gotta
of-
thank. David Lansdowne, bro.
Lansdowne.
A black dude from Watts taught me the ropes about surfing in all of
Director of
California.
surfing.
Dude took me
Lovely.
from Santa Cruz all the way to Baja in a van with 5 or 6 other kids at all times, blaring Bob Marley and telling us what's up. And he was a mentor to us, and it was probably one of the best shaping experiences of my life. David Lansdowne, the
District
man.
2 had Doc Scott. Remember Doc Scott too? That was our same. He was our district director, and he had a bus. Then we'd go down to District 4 and hang out with Dave Lansdowne. It was the best stuff ever. That was the time,
Well,
man. Wow.
Pete, Doc Scott is the reason that you're still able to hear.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Because of Doc's pro
True.
I don't know.
to stop that dreaded surfers.
I don't
ear,
wanna
you
go-
know? And we got the announcement this week, you guys, that the WSL has plans, and it's exciting plans, to come back. So we released the schedule for 2021. It's actually going to start in 2020 with Honolulu Bay for the women, and that's going to be their first event. Your thoughts on the new schedule, guys? And we'll go stop by stop on this, but I'm going to start with Strider. Honolulu Bay starting for the women.
I mean, there's not much to say. The wave's amazing, and it does the job for everybody. It's just basically these ladies, all they have to do is step up, and hopefully it's pumping again. And you know, we saw all the ladies kind of crushing it, but most importantly, I think that Stephanie Gilmore, Tyler Wright, and Carissa Moore are the 3 hammers out there that were just crushing it. I mean, a couple years ago we saw Alana show up, spoiler, just blasting off the lip. I mean, there's so much good surfing out there. The wave is so perfect. It just turns at you. And I mean, Pete, you've surfed it. Kaipo, you surfed it. You take off and it just corners. And just sitting in the water watching it, you get excited. So you can imagine being a surfer and going out there into that. Those ladies are psyched.
What a beautiful way to start the tour for the women. That's going to be stop number 1 for the women as we look at the 2021 Championship Tour. The men, Pete, are going to start at Pipeline. Instead of the end of the year, now it's going to be the beginning of the year.
It's a different story, isn't it? And I think we're going to have to get used to it. I think we always think that the climax is going to be at Pipeline at the end of the season. This year, now it's going to start the season. I think that we need to start somewhere, and I think that's the first event that's going to, be at the best time, I think, if we're going to be able to get this thing rolling. And I like the idea of it. I think we are going to have to get used to it because it is going to be so much different. But then again, we're going to have to get used to a lot of things with this tour. A lot of changes are going to happen globally, but I feel like if you look at the actual lineage of all the events, we have a lot of the staples there, right? So to start off at Pipeline is going to be something I'm going to have to get used to, and I think everyone else will. But I believe it's the right thing to do right now.
You know,
Strider,
I think
this is a way that's close to your heart, Strider, and what a triumphant return I feel for the championship tour. I mean, it's backwards in a way, but I think it's going to be an incredible return to competition at Pipeline. Start it off.
Well, I mean, okay, look, no matter what, Pipeline's a show, right? We got the heaviest wave in the world, statistically the most deadly wave in the world, and you are looking at one of those heartbeat moments every time, you know, this event is on. The thing I want to point out here is that you've got, when it's on, a big, gnarly, barreling left over a reef, right? You can have some crazy rights thrown in there, which will happen, which we've seen, you know, every year. And for the most part, it is, you know, known as a left, which is something that I wanted to point out again, because this is going to start on a left, and then the last event at Chopu is on a left over a gnarly, barreling reef. Let's put this in perspective. It changes a lot of things to me. I mean, you start, the two most important events are the first and the last, and then you go into the finals. You've got two gnarly waves coming at you, and it's going to be interesting to watch people step up day dot, right? You're going to kick this thing off, and you better be ready, because you know Pipeline's going to deliver, so they got to deliver. And then at the end of the year, you got to be ready for probably, I don't know, Pete, is that one of the scariest waves in the world at Chopu?
Well, that and Pipeline. So you're starting them off right there too. For me, especially because you know, shallow reef guy. Yeah, it's something I've had to work on my whole career. Is trying to go left in shallow reefs. So yeah, definitely scary.
I've seen you
So
do
there
it
you go.
at,
So that-
at Chopu. It's
Yeah.
not. I mean, look at that. Jesus. I mean, Chopu's so gnarly, and this is going to be the funnest.
And the women are back too there, right? That's the other
climax
thing. Bringing the women.
No, it's going to be all time, and then we're going to climax there. And you know who brought this up was Raymana this morning on a FaceTime call. He's all, bro, I hope they're ready, because they're going to have to finish here, and it's going to be gnarly. And then they're going to decide who's in the, you know, moving on to the finals in the top 5, and like it's just going to be. I don't know. I just get excited thinking about it, because really. I mean, I'm coming out of my skin. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I get psyched just thinking about it.
I'm excited too. So we got that, and so we're going to be bookending at gnarly waves. The beginning of the year, the end of the year. In the middle of the year, stop number 2 is we're going to go to Portugal in February. A little bit colder, Pete, in Portugal, but
yeah,
Peniche is going to offer a lot of variety. Right? It's going to be mobile. You're going to have a lot of opportunity there, and a lot of support from the Portuguese government as well.
Well, you think about February, that's dead winter, right? That's like the straight in it. Just, it can be howling winds during that time. There'd be plenty of swell. Peniche is unique in the sense that we have that peninsula. We can go either side. Generally speaking, we've always kind of had super tubos there. And, you know, it's another gnarly wave, and I love it. I think that it's going to be more opportunity. I believe there'll be more opportunity in February. It's just now you're going to be wearing maybe a 4-3 and some booties, which is I think a little bit different for them. It's not that much colder, but it definitely is in the dead of winter, and you see a lot of weather move in and out of there. So I like that change. I think for me, it feels like it's going to be better opportunity. Conditions are going to be much more raw and radical, which is what we need for this tour, is to keep these guys on their toes.
Nice. Your favorite part about Portugal, Strider? You've been there for years.
Yeah, I just like the.
You've been there for years.
How much surf there is in and around the area. Like Pete's saying, there's so much there that you can run away to, and you know, as a surfer, my favorite thing about the job is getting to go surf and all the different waves that we get to go surf while we're in these areas, to be honest. And that's what I'm excited about, going to surf new waves, going to surf, you know, all those sandbars around the corner. And then we get to see like Super Tubo. So obviously is one of the, you know, most intense waves, you know, on tour when it's on. But I mean, you know, there's been super sessions with like Slater and Seabass and guys out at these slabs that are just ridiculous. And the wave, you know, I've known Kelly a long time, and he straight out just told me, he looked at me and he goes, bro, the day he surfed out the slab, he's like, you wouldn't even have wanted anything to do with it. And I was like, oh, okay. He almost didn't want anything to do with it. And, you know, the waves there get really, really intense. And there's so many different waves and varieties that you end up in a great place every time you go there. And, you know, and like Pete said, that time of year, I don't think we're going to have any shortage of surf.
Yeah.
100%
So that looks good. I like the excitement of that. And then I think also a side of Tosca de Jol on a lay day to have some of that beautiful. I got the COVID. I got the COVID-10 going right now, so like I've become quite a foodie, you know, cooking at home and stuff, and it made me appreciate some of the great cuisine.
Wait a minute, you forgot
3 stops in Australia.
You forgot 2.5, France.
Yeah, well, there isn't a France, unfortunately, right?
And I'm gonna tell you,
I'm just gonna be vocal. I'm bummed. I love France. I love going there. I love driving up and down the beach. I love trying to find the right sandbar. I love the challenge.
It's a hard event to win too. Yeah.
And it's a hard event to win, but it's a hard event to hold. I understand how difficult the event is, but it doesn't mean I'm not bummed.
No,
Yeah,
and
same.
I want to go on note that Strider has France absolutely wired. He's got great connections there, Laurent. He's got his electric bike.
Yeah.
He knows all the restaurants. Like when you get France, just follow Strider because you'll usually end up having a good
Know where
time.
the waves
We
are.
did have. We have fun.
What about the September
nothing-
WSL finals?
Nothing official.
Could you go to France for that?
But
Yeah.
I mean, we
you
haven't
could.
talked about
It's a little
where they're
fickle.
going to go. In
little too
September it
fickle
is,
for
yeah.
that.
bro, everybody knows where you're going to go in September already. Come on, you guys. You guys like
Really?
WSL? Yeah, you know where you're going to go in September. Where are you going to go in September, Strider? Where's the WSL finals going to be? We can
Point
just
two.
go all the way to the final right now.
Point two. No, I'd be on a boat trip somewhere just getting perfect waves.
Yeah, let's do it right. That's what
Let's
I think.
look at it. It's September 8th through the 16th. So we think about places that we can have a one-day final. We could spend a lot of money and go to the Mentawais.
Steamer
That
Lane.
could be pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Or
My
we
call.
could return to
Ocean Beach.
lower trestles in September
Oh,
which could be pretty
Trestles,
good.
That's right.
for a one-day event. I'm just guessing. I don't know. Nobody tells me anything.
Trestles. I think Trestles is a great call. High performance, but I just don't think there's I mean, personally, I want to see more consequence when you're breaking it down. I want to see more to.
Let's go to
I don't want to
Kandui.
just see technical lip slaps. You know, I mean, whatever.
To win the title.
I'd rather be at Karamas where you could have the slabby barrel coming out into the huge air section. I think you need a combination of tubes and maneuvers, and you don't have that at Trestles. And I think that is not where you want to spend your finals, in a place where you don't have the ultimate, which is the barrel, and just have the technical side of surfing. So to me,
Well, if you look at the schedule,
I don't think
Paul,
that's a good idea.
too, right?
Now that I think about it, I don't think Trestles is the place.
I'm backing you, Strider. I personally, I'm not a fan of it either, especially when you look at what our bookends are, right? You got Pipeline and Chopo on either end. You've got, super tubes, right? It's going to be barrels a lot of the times. I mean, the only ones that aren't are really going to be, I mean, even it can be barrels in Saquarema too, but, and Margaret River, but yeah, Gold Coast.
The
only
got
one
the
that's really
price.
out is-
Come on, bro. No, but
Like,
here's the
yeah,
deal.
French
Here's
pretty
the
much
deal.
has a
everyone's
guaranteed
barrel ride. You gotta
barrel.
be able to barrel ride. And then you're going to all of a sudden
so
decide
here's the
a
deal.
world championship on pairs.
You've got a time slot. You've got a world to go to. Just pick the best place in the world for that time and go there. It's not that hard. You got 5 guys. You can do a production. You can get people there. We have mobility. That's what I'm calling. Just sit down, world map, 5 guys, figure out where you're going, which is going to be the best place, and it's got to be and hope for a wave of consequence. I don't care where it is. but you've got to have barrels.
So there you go. 5 guys, 5 women, and we're not going to make that decision until it gets closer to it so we can go to the optimum weight for this WSL final. And we're looking right now at the format to crown a world champion 2021. It's a linear format, you guys. So coming into that final day, the WSL finals, seeding, number 5 is going to surf against number 4. Whoever wins that matchup will surf against number 3. Whoever wins that matchup will surf against number 2. Number 1 coming into that finals, WSL finals day, is going to be seeded into the final where it's going to be best 2 out of 3. Peter, what do you think about that format?
I say that if you're in heat 1, right, and you've got to surf all of those heats going into, so seed 4 and 5 are going to have a huge day. You think about it, then they have to surf 2 out of 3 for the finals. Whereas if you're sitting number 1, it is a huge advantage. You get to see everyone come up through it. And then it's a 2 out of 3, final heat, which I think is as exciting as it can be, because we saw what a final day to watch the 2 best surfers at the very end of the day competing for the world title. We saw that last year, and it was epic. One of the most epic days ever, right? So I totally get that. But it's going to be a brutal day for whoever is sitting in those, heat 1 and 2 or 1, because they're going to have to surf 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heats in a day. Like, that's pretty big day, especially going for a title, right? Possibly 6. I mean, if you go into yeah, it's big, which is cool. But I think they're all for it.
Because we all saw the finals of Pipeline, and we got to see the climax of competition. We got to see it decided in the water. We got to see the 2 best guys going head to head. The hard part about this format is that surfing, as we all know, is something that you basically can have an off day. And if those guys have off days on that day, that's tough. My point is that you can be out of rhythm with the ocean on that day. And that's where I kind of see this. I'm like, oh, that's going to hurt. But it's still going to be exciting. Number 1 guy in the world at that time could have that day. And the number 5 guy in the world could have the all-time day, come all the way through, march through, bang, knock down number 1, and it's over. Because number 1 just had a bad day. And that's where lies the question mark.
Well, that's why it's a sport, guys, right? So, when you look at the Super Bowl, the NBA championships, the World Series, a pitcher can have a bad day, the final game of the World Series. A quarterback or receiver can have a bad day. It happens to be Super Bowl day. That's just a reality of sports. I really like the fact that we're going to have this grand conclusion to the year, and everyone's going to tune in.
I'm going to enjoy it no matter what, and I hope I'm there to call it. I just feel like those other sports, all those other sports, though, they don't have a moving platform. They don't have a breathing element that they have to deal with, right? You're talking ball sports. We're talking about Mother Nature and something that's completely different. Our platform is so different that, I'm just, I guess, playing the devil's advocate here, because I know it's going to be exciting. I know it's going to be awesome. I know in the end, everybody's going to be freaking out, and it's all brand new, uncharted territory that we all can't wait to get into, because something new gives us life. It pumps our blood. We want something out of it, but to me, it's going to be controversial.
No, and you know what? You're right, Strider, because we deal with nature as surfers, and that's why we can't define surfing as only a sport, right? So surfing is much more than just a sport. When in the World Surf League, we deal with jerseys and we deal with the sport of surfing. Now we've had the absence of surfing right now with no competitions going on.
I miss it.
And surfing, but surfing has been doing okay without competition, Peter. I mean, more people have been surfing now
retail
than ever.
Well, and a lot of it has to do with youth sports not being around, right? So with youth sports, no baseball, no soccer, no school. So people or parents have to take their kids and they got to go somewhere. Where are they going to go? It's the skate parks. They're going to go biking. They're going to go to the beach, And so, you talk about surfing as an industry whole. I mean, believe me, our store has been busy, very intense, and it's across the board. It's both coasts are getting hammered with that because people are going to the beach, and it feels safe. I mean, I mentioned this before, like being able to go to the beach and have that, fresh air blowing on you, in the sunshine. It's one of those things that you can't beat it. So I know that people are headed that direction, and I see it every day here in Santa Cruz, and I know probably happening down there in LA and even in your hood there too. I mean, you guys aren't getting any tourism.
It's been proven.
Vitamin D part of the solution.
It's part of the solution, bro. Kick COVID. Go to the beach.
Kick COVID. Right, and it is. I mean, it's like I said, that competitive surfing wise, and broadcast. There's still Instagram. There's still edits being dropped. There's people still surfing and they're filming it. So we're seeing surfing. We're just not seeing competitive surfing. But once you add that element back, that's when we're going to see really the steam start rolling, because all of a sudden now we have a bunch of new fans that started up this last couple of months.
Yeah, and I think now the new format, you guys, is going to be easier for people to understand and digest, as well as we're going to have a season now. We're going to have a CT season that's going to end in September in 2021, and then the qualification season with the Challenger Series is going to go all the way through December. What do you think, Strider, about this new seasonality that the WSL is putting in their schedule in 2021?
I kind of just said it earlier. I just feel like change is good. I feel like, kind of creating something that, like Pete said, is can be understood a little bit better. And there's, separating it out to creating a path for everybody. It's hard. And if we do not create a platform which is understood by the public and the core can enjoy, and we don't take it to a place to where we go too far away from that. We have to keep the core intact. We also have to pull in the people from outside of it. Then we have to make a platform that people can understand across the board and be happy with. You're trying to make everybody happy with something and create a business. It's almost impossible to do, but I think that this is a step in the right direction, and that is what we're doing.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that, Strider. And we've had big minds working on all this stuff. I think the future of professional surfing, once we get through a lot of these international travel restrictions, is going to be huge. And we're going to be in a better place than we've ever been, with a better show that we've ever been able to provide to folks. And it's going to be easier for the core to understand it, as well as for this peripheral new audience to understand it. Because surfing's beautiful, Pete. I mean, it's attractive people doing a pretty cool thing in the ocean. So even if if you're not a surfer yourself, you want to tune in. Because I watched beach volleyball today, bro, and I can't even get a volleyball player? Net. No.
But you were admiring what? What were you admiring?
The women on the beach with drama. Okay, let me just let's take bikinis out of it, Peter.
Okay.
Let's go to
it's hard
NASCAR.
when you're on the screen.
Pete, you're the one with a mirror behind you, bro. You just stand there.
That's right.
Dude,
look at it, sparkling and stuff too. Like,
you know about
see that?
me.
That's my.
You know about me.
I am a little vain. Yes, I know. I'll admit it. I've been working on my hair. You guys notice?
I do it every day.
I'm embracing my curls. Look. See, I'm embracing my curls. Look at that. I'm not straightening it anymore.
Well, you have an incredible hairline.
Look at that.
That's just that's a male genetic right there. That is an incredible hairline at 50 years old. At 50,
I'm 50.
Well,
dude.
dude, you're how old are you? Kaipo, you're 58, and I mean, look how good you look.
747 can land on that strip.
I mean, look at that.
Right? Is that mid-season cut? As I understand it, right? It's a mid-season cut. Is it going to happen all the time? Or is it going to be, we mid-season cut, we get to 24 guys, and that's how it's going to be for the rest of the time? It stays at 24, or is it something where, right? So that's what happens. Cut it to 24, and then the rest of the guys are out.
Yeah. No.
Right?
Every sport.
So that's a big element.
No, every sport has a playoffs, and that's the playoffs. And you know what? The bottom third, I'm sorry, dude. It's a sport, okay?
Hey,
people are going to be bummed.
Change
I'm sorry.
Is what's going to
I'm sorry.
progress.
Yep. And even more exciting, Strider, as you know, and both you and Pete,
And you know
guys
what's
study Swell.
what's kind of you know what's kind of effed up about this? Hold on, is that we could sit
Well,
here
hold
and talk about the change and talk about the cutoff and how it's okay. But damn, bro, what if you're one of those guys, dude? But that's what the Challenger Series is for. They can get back in there. They're going to be able to get back to work. But the fact is, dude.
Yeah, for me though, I mean, in hopes of all this, because there is such a huge talent pool of surfers now, right? So you're cutting it to 24 guys, which are, I guess, I know they're the best in the world if that's 24, but I'm entertained by number 36. I'm entertained by number 69. Like I feel like
here's the deal,
the Challenger Series needs to be lucrative as well. It has to be solid, right? It has to be at good waves. It has to be something that we all want to watch. It has to be broadcast well so that we can develop those fans to get.
I think it will be, Pete. I think a big part of this cutoff is actually to enhance the other side of what's happening. And all those guys will still have their story. They'll still be there. They'll still be in those other series and be able to climb, if they should be, back to the top of that, echelon and get back onto tour. And they'll, their story will be followed. And I think that they are going to be high quality in all of it.
Well, you guys, actually, not to mention, once that cut happens, then you go from a 6-day competition run to a 3-day competition run for the back half of the year. And that's going to enable these events to happen in optimum swell periods. And those are going to be events like G-Land, J-Bay, and Tahiti, where you have a smaller field and you're really going to have probability of excellent waves in that window for a competition. So that's big. I think that's big.
I would agree, and I think that the 3-day swell window is the one thing I worry about. Is like, okay, we're going to still be there for the 10-day waiting period, but if you can get it done in one swell, right, which is what the idea behind having it in 3 days is, that you're going to get a start and a finish within 3 days, and it's going to build momentum, and it's going to be consistently going from day to day to day. Hopefully, it probably won't always be that way, but I think that that's important. At least when you guys have all been part of this for a long time now, right? It's rad when we can get events going back to back to back, day to day to day, and follow the momentum, and everybody can tune in and everyone just gets involved in it. Because as soon as you go away for 4 days, I mean, as much as we love a lay day, it kind of sucks for watching the show.
That's Uluwatu.
Big Ulu.
That's massive. They've been actually, right? So we're in July, right? Mid-July. It's the first real swell of the year.
Bro, they've been having so many swells, dude. It's crazy. It's been firing.
Dude, I was
watching. This is the first big one, though, right?
Oh, this is the honker, yeah.
Yeah, I was watching the Surfline Padang cam the other day, and there was 5 guys out, bro, and guys were trying to paddle into waves and not even getting into epic Padang. I mean.
Well, let me tell you,
Bali's going off right now.
Those guys down there, Ty Buddha, Rizal, Batet, the boys, they're just scoring. They're crushing it.
They're scoring, yeah.
On fire.
Yeah, racetrack right here. Dude, that's like a 15-foot wave.
That was a bomb.
Look at that thing.
Outside corner, it's been pumping.
Hey.
You can ride a 6.2.
Dude, it's been flat. Like Santa Cruz has just been flat. I mean, today it's got a little bit. You have a little south swell down there right now? There, Strider?
Yeah, we had a little bump. Took the kids out for a surf this afternoon. Crews got about 20 to the beach. Wave count was up.
Where's the GoPro footage?
That was the other day. I could bust it out. You want to see it? I got it on my phone.
No, all we have to do is, I mean, I already saw it. Oh,
that's right. I put it up.
The waves are really bad here in Hawaii, and the water's cold, and we have a 14-day quarantine.
Cold.
So
cold. Freezing, I'm sure.
It's freaking Hawaii.
Well, Kaipo,
it's still good.
Kaipo's
it's good every day.
Himself in his house, bro, because Kaipo's a germaphobe. So Kaipo ain't even close to anybody. I said, go down there to the parking lot, get busy, get those lungs ready, bro. Down at Koalos. He's like, bro, I don't even
deep breaths.
I can't go down there.
I've only surfed Kewalos one time in the last 4 months right now, but I do surf
because
really really good waves, not good, empty waves by my house. Well, we always finish the show with things that make you smile. And yesterday was a tough day for me because I was in a funk. And I think a lot of the surf world was in a funk because we had the passing of Derek Ho, our 1993 world champ. And it really, really affected me. And then overnight, I thought, let's celebrate. And things that make me smile right now is the life that Derek Ho lived. And talk about somebody who lived life pedal to the metal, never let up on the gas, made his own rules, kept on doing it. 55 years old, still one of the top performers at Pipeline. Like, this man lived an incredible life. So the thing that makes me smile right now is the reflection on the great life of Derek Ho. Strider, I know you're friends with Derek. You had spent a lot of time with him and stuff. Doesn't that make you smile? Because I know you had some words as well, some encouraging words.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, it's emotional, and I think that when you think about somebody being in your life, for this long and having somebody impact your life the way that he impacted my life, because he's the guy that, growing up, it was Jerry Lopez and Derek Ho, and like just sitting back and watching him and trying to suck every bit of what he was doing, all this knowledge back into it. And, it's emotional for me, man. And you're right, it makes me smile because when I look and I close my eyes and I look inside and I close my eyes, I see Derek Ho smiling when he looks over at me and that in the lineup at Pipeline. And when there's a set coming, he's smirking at me because he knows that that I know that he's on it. Always.
How good is that? When he comes up and he has that little smirk and he like sneaks up on you too. That's the best part. Is like all of a sudden you're like, you have no idea. And then all of a sudden he's right there. You're like, whoa, and he's just like, and then of course there's a wave and he's gonna take that wave too. But
the thing about Derek is that he was always sharing the secrets and always there to help people. I mean, look, I'm a haole from, that came to Hawaii trying to get Pipeline. I'm from Santa Monica, and I somehow, I earned my way in. But the fact is that I had to pay my dues. But like guys like Derek, they had respect for the guys who were just, scrappy and trying to get there. And one day, I remembered I was soul arching in a barrel. I did not come out of the barrel. Wave spit me off my board. And he paddled up to me in the water right after it happened. And he goes, Strider, showtime is for after you come out of the barrel. There's no showtime if you don't come out of the barrel. So do this for me. Stay low, away from the ball of the spit. Try and get in the corner. You can soul arch coming into it, but once you're in the pit, in the eye, foam ball, everything happening, stay low, Strider. Be where you need to be, away from everything so nothing can touch you. And then after it spits, after that moment happens, after you know it's gonna happen, then you come out and you open up and it's showtime. But you have to get to the showtime part of it for there to show showtime. And it was just like, I'll never forget. It is locked in his voice. Everything about it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, look it. We all got good stories. He touched so many lives, and we're thankful to have Derek Ho in our life. We're thankful for the life of Derek Ho, and we wish the best for the whole family, right, Pete?
Yeah, and obviously blessings, and I know it's tough probably for the whole family and a lot of people to have to swallow this one. But again, what you touched on and why this makes us smile is the fact that Derek lived a life how he wanted to live it. He had a professional surfing career where he won a world title. He was the first Hawaiian to do that, and no one can take that from him and the whole family. And we'll keep remembering him, and we'll be honoring him forever and ever.
And that's something that, like you said, he just the fact that he was doing it till the day he died, what he loved, and he lived his own life and his own rules. And I don't know. He was just an
Cheers to
inspiration.
that.
Man.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers to that. And I think that is a perfect ending to another episode of Any Kine Live. And I just want to thank you, Pete. I want to thank you, Strider. And it's been a great conversation. We got a bright future, guys. We have a bright
Thanks for
future
the call up. Finally,
coming up.
bro. I finally got in, bro. I'm stoked.
We're gonna have
Guys
more.
had
love
me
you
on
guys.
the back porch for a while, bro. I don't like being on the back porch that long.
We're gonna have more. Thank you for joining us. Any Kine Live.